Hi everyone, I'm Noelle from Petitti Garden Centers, and we're here at the Oakwood Village Garden Center today, and we're going to do a container garden for the shade. I have a lot of customers that come in and ask, what's going to grow well in the shade for us? We've got quite a few different plants that we can plant for you today. First of all, most important thing is your container. You want to make sure that it does have drainage holes or drainage material in the bottom, okay? So that's the first thing. So we have our container with the drainage holes in the bottom so the water does flow out. Second thing is actually your soil. We use potting soil in pots, makes sense. It's a light soil. It's actually made of peat moss and also some perlite and vermiculite. So it lets the water hold by the root system for a short time, and then it actually releases as the plants use the water. So potting soil does dry out a little bit faster, but really with your containers, you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of water sitting at that root system. You don't want them to rot over time. So that's really the importance of potting soil. With that, potting soil does not have nutrients in it. So you want to make sure that you're adding nutrients. We often use things like Osmocote. Osmocote's a wonderful fertilizer for us, especially with container gardening and also out in the garden. But with container gardening, you apply Osmocote about, I'd say, a tablespoon or so to the top layer of the soil. And as you're planting the plants, that fertilizer will be active around the plant material. So every time you water or every time it rains, a little bit more of that fertilizer is going to go into the plant root system or root area so they can absorb it. So I'm going to apply that now. I have the green formulation. This is actually a triple 14 and just about a tablespoonful, okay? And I'm just going to sprinkle that around the top layer and just work it in really, really quickly. Okay. Next thing that we're doing with container gardening, and it's always really easy to remember, is you're always looking for one filler plant. Sorry, let's start again. One thriller plant, so that's your tall upright plant. Then you want one spiller plant, something that's going to trail over the side of the container, and then you can fill in with all your filler plants around it. So today I've got this beautiful caladium. This is Postman Joiner. This is a real classic caladium. Beautiful, beautiful plant coming out here, and they are great for the shade. They really do prefer that lower light level, somewhere around 4 hours or less of your direct sunlight. If you get them in too much sun, they will burn, even if you have a good moisture amount around them. The other thing that I always want to remind folks is that you want to tickle the root system, okay? So you do want to work those roots, move them out so they'll move out into the soil very quickly. And I'm going to put Postman Joiner kind of in the back corner of this container. So I'm going to plant them real snugly right in the back here, okay? Next thing is this spiller. So we've got these beautiful Coleus. These are what we call the Great Falls series. These are Coleus that will just slightly mound up and then they'll start to trail down. This type of habit is kind of unusual for Coleus, and but it's really, really fun in container gardens. So this is going to be my primary spiller. I'm going to squeeze the pot here, pull out the Coleus. Ooh, if it wants to come out. And we should have a nice healthy root system on that plant. And again, tickle those roots. And even if you lose a little soil into the container, it's not a big deal. You'll be using it. And I'm just going to put the spiller right in the front corner, kind of opposite of Postman Joiner Caladium here, okay? So there's our spiller, and that'll soon trail over the side. Lots of times with spillers, I'll kind of tilt them a little bit so they start to move over the side of the pot, okay? Next thing we do is we decide on our filler plants. So our filler plants can be a lot of different things in the shade garden. Anything from the begonia family. So you have begonias like your wax begonias, okay, which are real standard, real great, very easygoing type plants. You've also got this beautiful dark leafed tuberous begonia. This is a non-stop tuberous begonia, and these are the types of begonias that you can actually keep the tubers, store them over the winter time in a cool, dry place, and then go ahead and you can replant them year after year. So they're a great little begonia if you have the chance to save them. So I'm going to plant this one as one of my fillers. This is Mocha Scarlet, and this is, again, when you see mocha, you'll know that it is a dark leafed type. Gonna tickle those roots again, kind of install it just around the spiller here and kind of get it to sit for me a little bit, okay? I'm also going to use one of the green leaf wax begonias. Again, just easy plants, very versatile. This is the volumina mix, and you see it's a red, bright red flower with a nice green foliage. Okay. I'm also going to fill in with a neat plant. This is Torenia, and Torenia is also known as wishbone flower, kind of a filler and spiller, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up front, kind of lighten the color in the container. Whoops, making a mess. Lighten the color in the container because it's a lot of dark reds. Whoop. Move this over a little bit. And as you're making your container garden, you can shuffle things around. It's not a problem whatsoever. Just kind of move, make some space, and make sure you give your plant material some space to really fill in and grow and fill out. Okay. And just make sure everything is filled up as far as potting soil is concerned. You want to make sure that that root system is covered up. And the one other thing that I'm going to do, I kind of have a space back here next to Postman Joiner. So I'm going to turn it a little bit, and I'm actually going to put another Torenia kind of spilling out the side in the back, just to kind of fill this area really quick. Let me grab that one. Squeeze the pot, pull it out. Whoop. Loosen the root system. Pop it in. Got some good spacing around all these plants so they really can fill out and do very well. And you've got a red and white container garden that'll last all season for you and look beautiful. Enjoy.